Attention troops. It's the short stormtrooper, of course. The time has come. Execute Order 66.
Too short for a stormtrooper?
What's up, my friends? Time for the short video from the tallest trooper in the Empire, and welcome back to another news feature. So guys, today we are officially at 192 days left until episode 8. It is so nice to be below the 200 mark finally. And for today's news, we're talking about a bunch of stuff. We've got another packed news day, so let's get into it. So before I even get started today, I do want to mention a couple of things to you guys. I know there's a lot of new people that just came to my channel, and if you guys don't know, I actually have two other channels. One is my vlog channel, and one is my music and art channel, where of course I release all of my music and art. And on my vlog channel, I do food and drink reviews, I even do movie reviews, I do vlogs of my daily life, basically everything that I can't discuss on this channel. So if you guys really want, like, a full 360-degree view of my life, you want to be subscribed to both of those channels as well for the full experience. And speaking of movie reviews, like I said, I do movie reviews, full, like Chris Stuckman style movie reviews over on my vlog channel, but I wanted to take the time now to actually ask you guys, is that something that I should have on my vlog channel, or are full movie reviews something that you guys would like to see on this channel? Are movie reviews something that you guys would like to see added to this channel? So go ahead and comment down in the great white void below. Let me know what you guys think. Do you want to see movie reviews elsewhere, or do you want to see movie reviews as part of this channel as another feature? Please, you guys build this channel as much as I do, so let me know what you guys want to see. And then also, I just wanted to let you know about my goals. I just wanted to remind you guys about the goals that I have going on right now. One is new, though, I haven't discussed with you guys yet. My current goal right now is to get to 5,000 subscribers by the time episode 8 comes out. And of course, I'll be doing Q&As at every 1,000 subs up until my 5,000 subscriber celebration video, which I'm going to be having at the end. But something new that you guys don't know is that after that, I have another goal planned, which is to get to 10,000 subs. Now, I don't have a time limit on 10,000 subs. It's just my next goal to get to after 5,000. And then my goal on Twitter is also to get to 1,000 subs. So after 5,000, my goal will be to get to 10,000 on YouTube and then to 1,000 on Twitter. And then, once I get to that point, when I get 10,000 on YouTube and 1,000 on Twitter, I'll be getting my very first Star Wars tattoo, and you guys will get to choose the design. That's right, I'm going to be polling you guys on social media and on YouTube and stuff, and you guys will all get to share your ideas and get to choose the design that I get. So those are my two goals going on right now. Keep the push going, keep telling your friends, keep sharing these videos, let all your buddies and your fellow troopers out there know about the one and only original short stormtrooper. Let's keep the push going. I know we can do it. May the force be with you guys. Thank you so much for all of your support that you give me already, and let's keep this push going to 5,000. So for this first piece of news that we've got coming up today, it is a huge story, and it's actually not coming from any Star Wars news websites. This is actually world news. So as all of us know, Bob Iger basically is Disney. He is the man at Disney. And as such, he is a part of Trump's White House Business Advisory team. But just recently, it was reported that Bob Iger literally quit on Trump. That's right, Bob Iger is quitting Trump's business advisory team because apparently Bob Iger is so appalled with what Trump has been doing that he just cannot be a part of it anymore, and he has literally stepped down from the role. Now, I gotta say, I'm not, into politics. I left the world of politics a long time ago. I don't hold any affiliations to any parties or anything like that. But I gotta say, this is because of this Paris Accord. It's because of, if you guys don't know, Trump backed out of this Paris Accord, and this is bad news for the United States in terms of all our economic policies and stuff like that. And so Bob Iger quit on Trump, and I gotta say, this takes a lot of guts. It takes a lot of guts for a man like Bob Iger, even being as powerful as he is, to literally walk out on the President of the United States. He walked out, he quit on the President of the United States, and you know, Bob Iger, man, more power to you. You know, more power to you. Hopefully, Bob Iger will see this as kind of like a motivational kind of thing also, and it will cause him to pour more of his assets into saving the world and stuff like that. Maybe this will motivate him on this front. But yeah, huge news here today, guys. World news. Bob Iger, the man at Disney, quits Trump's business advisory team. What do you guys think about that? Leave all your thoughts down below. For the next story up today, we have two stories that were pointed out to me by my channel monitor, Andrew. And the first one up here is coming from comicbookmovie.com. Now, they had a great article called 5 Plot Details in The Last Jedi, but I just took a couple of really important ones that stood out to me. Now, this was, of course, done originally by Vanity Fair, in that great extensive article that Vanity Fair put out. And the first up here is that Luke, they did confirm that Luke did find the Jedi Temple and is staying in a, quote, Jedi village. That village there, the stone huts, is a Jedi village. And apparently there's caretakers on the island. Now, of course, we've heard of these creatures called porgs. Now, apparently these creatures are some kind of caretakers on the island. They're much like, I think the article was saying something about Ewoks, that they weren't Ewoks, but they were kind of like Ewoks. So I'm thinking here, like, do they have their own language? We know we heard something about Luke taking care of them, possibly, that there's some kind of symbiotic relationship going on between them and the island of Ahch-To and maybe the Jedi Temple. Do they have their own language? Do they talk? Do they communicate with Luke? Is there something going on here? So very, very interesting here that he's having this kind of setup here with these new creatures on the island. Also, Rian Johnson mentioned Luke's training in this. He said that it's not going to be like Yoda's training. We had previously thought before that Luke was just going to pass on Yoda's training methods. Well, apparently Rian Johnson said that that's not the case. He said that Luke has changed. Rian Johnson says, quote, there is a training element to it, but it's not what we expect. It's not what we're going to expect. So this is very, very interesting. So Luke has got his own training methods. It's a very, very different style of training methods. Could this play into Rey wanting to be trained as a Jedi and becoming very disgruntled when Luke doesn't want to train her as a Jedi because he has his own training? I think that will definitely come into play. Now, the second thing here is that Kelly Marie Tran's character, Rose, we all know that she has a sister in the movie. I reported this in last week's news. Apparently, her and her sister, both, their last name is Tice. It is confirmed in this article their last name is Tice, T-I-C-E. So Rose Tice and Paige Tice. Those are the two sisters in this movie. Now, her sister Paige is apparently a gunner who is working and being trained by Poe. Apparently, Poe is coaching Rose's sister Paige to be a gunner. So is she a gunner in Poe's new ship? Is she a gunner for Poe in a new ship that Poe is going to be flying? Very interesting. I thought that she might be a ball turret gunner in the new Resistance ships. That could be possible too. Poe could be working on those Resistance ships. But very interesting here. Poe is coaching her to become a gunner. So that's going to be another interesting dynamic, very interesting relationship at play here that we see play out. They also confirmed that Finn and Rose are going to be behind enemy lines in this movie. So we're going to get some Finn and Rose action in some dangerous territory in this movie for sure. And then Rian Johnson said about Benicio del Toro's character, he said, quote, there is a reason that we call him DJ. So what I'm thinking of this is DJ obviously means something. These two letters mean something. So DJ could either mean Dark Jedi, which would be really, really interesting to see. Is Benicio del Toro's character somebody who was training with Luke and then went rogue and then started to work for Snoke or started to work for the First Order or something? But the other thing I'm thinking is that we may not know J yet. J might be the only mystery to the puzzle, and the D, and somebody pointed this out to me in one of my previous videos, is that the D might stand for Duquesne, who is a character that we know from The Force Awakens who stole the Millennium Falcon from Han Solo. So is this a guy named Duquesne J, whatever his last name is, the guy who stole the Millennium Falcon, which would make sense because we've heard previous news stories about Benicio del Toro breaking out of jail and stealing that sleek Naboo Naboo-style ship. So is he a ship thief? Is that what he does? Is that what kind of criminal he is? He's this dirty, grimy kind of ship thief. So what do you guys think about that? You know, Dark Jedi, could DJ stand for Dark Jedi, or could DJ stand for Duquesne something? Leave all your thoughts on that down below. Now, the third thing up here is that they're finally talking about Canto Bight, of course, the new location, Canto Bight, that we're always hearing about in the news, which is the casino planet. And fitting right in is this description, which describes it as a very Monte Carlo-ish setting, a very James Bond type setting. So we're going to see a very fancy kind of James Bond-esque a rich community. That's something that Rian Johnson actually said. He said that he wanted to create something that was the opposite of what we usually see in Star Wars. What we usually see in Star Wars are these dirty, grimy places, these lived-in places. He wanted to create a rich environment for rich people. He said that there's going to be a lot of weird and gross aliens, but it's a rich casino environment. Lots of fancy dress and fancy garb. Of course, we saw a lot of those pictures. You guys can see those on StarWarsNewsNet.com. They get a lot of those behind-the-scene pictures from episode 8 of that big alien convention, that alien party. Lots of fancy dress, lots of money. Of course, these are figures of power. We might even see the Black Sun or somebody like that return in these kind of organizations. So you never know. But yeah, a lot of information there from this article over here by comicbookmovie.com. So leave all of your thoughts and opinions down below. Let me know what you guys think. Now, this next story up today is coming from MovieWeb, and this is something pertaining to Adam Driver and Mark Hamill's offset relationship. So apparently, according to this article, Adam Driver doesn't want to hang out with Mark Hamill offset. Apparently, Mark Hamill invited him to lunch and everything, and Adam Driver was just like straight up was like, nope, like, you know, don't want to come to lunch. And everybody's kind of wondering, like, what is this bizarre relationship? Like, is Adam Driver just being sour? Does he not like Mark Hamill? Like, what is going on here? Like, what is this relationship? Now, according to Adam Driver, he's trying not to break character. That's what he's saying in this article. We know that Kylo Ren and Luke haven't met yet in episode 8. So what he's saying is that he's trying not to break character. He's trying not to break that. He's a method actor. He's trying not to break that that relationship that he has going on with Luke. So Adam Driver says, quote, he says, "There's big personal things that I find about every character, not just in Star Wars, that you have to make as personal as possible. The things about that character that I find painful, that I really relate to, I prefer to keep to myself." And I have to say, as a fellow actor myself, like, I understand what he's saying. I get what he's saying is that he's saying that in every role, he finds things in each character that are very personal, and he has to deal with them in his own way, and sometimes that involves not being around other actors, and even as big an actor as Mark Hamill is, yes, sometimes that involves not going to lunch, not hanging out, not having a personal relationship, because you don't want to break that line. You don't want to break that connection that you have with Kylo Ren, because if he meets with Luke Skywalker, who is Mark Hamill, of course, offset, they start to build that personal relationship, and then you can kind of see that seep in their characters in the movie, and he doesn't want to break that line of thought. He doesn't want to break that perspective. And I have to say, there is a certain part of me that highly respects him for doing something like this, for not hanging out, because who among us could resist an opportunity to hang out with Mark Hamill? And here Adam Driver is method acting. So what do you guys think about this kind of bizarre news story coming from Adam Driver and Mark Hamill? What are your thoughts? So for the next story up today, guys, we've got some extremely exciting information coming straight from EA. EA just released some new information on something called the Assault on Theed, which is going to be happening June 10th. That's this Saturday at 12:30 p.m. Now, what this is EA is finally featuring some prequel-era gameplay. Finally, and what's going on is they're going to be live streaming this, apparently, of course, on YouTube, on their YouTube channel, on EA's live stream. They're going to be live streaming this prequel-era event. We're going to be seeing, they said we're going to be seeing, battle tanks, the battle droids, Naboo starfighters, Darth Maul, and all these kind of, clone troopers and all this stuff, all this prequel-era stuff. Now, and what they're doing is, EA is setting up a pair of 20-player teams, which are comprised list of popular Twitch streamers. So this is really cool, and apparently you guys can get a shot at this as well. If you go over to EA's website and then you tweet some kind of hashtag out or something like that, you guys can have an opportunity to enter in that as well. So yeah, this is going to be 20 Twitch players set up on this live stream, and it's basically just going to be what is titled here, the Attack on Theed. It's going to be featuring Naboo-style prequel-era gameplay, and we're all going to see it for the very first time. And again, this is coming up on June 10th. That's this Saturday. So guys, mark your calendars. Do not forget. Sit down this Saturday, 12:30 p.m., June 10th. We're finally going to get to see some prequel-era gameplay, sponsored, of course, by EA. This is going to be so exciting. I can't wait to see what this stuff looks like on the big screen. I can't wait to see the gameplay. Can't wait to see how all the characters are played out and how all the battle sequences are set up. This is going to be amazing. For the next story up today, we've actually got another super cool video straight from the set of the Han Solo movie. And it's a speeder bike, a brand new speeder bike being ridden by a stormtrooper. So take a look at this. So as you guys can see by the video, obviously he isn't moving very fast. I think they're just trying to get some up-close shots there. You can see the camera car being driven slowly behind it. They're just trying to get some up-close shots of the bike, presumably rolling up to the complex where this stormtrooper on the bike is going to be investigating. And I gotta say, I love the design of this speeder bike. It reminds me a lot of Rey's tractor speeder from The Force Awakens. It has this massive front end. It almost looks like he's riding like a giant ice cream bar or something like that. You know, I love these speeder bikes with these massive front ends and then these little kind of bucket seats in the middle there. And you can also notice the stormtrooper's armor appears to be a little bit different. Are we going to get to see yet another new helmet design on these stormtroopers that's specific for this kind of speeder bike here, which would be really cool. Of course, are they some kind of a new speeder trooper, that we're going to see? But regardless, I can't wait to get this speeder bike on my shelf. It looks so cool. I hope they get a model release of this thing soon, because I definitely want to add it to my collection. But what do you guys think, and what kind of speeder do you think that this could be? Is it similar to Rey's tractor, or is it a super fast speeder? Leave all of your thoughts and opinions down below. Next up, we have a story coming from Rebel Scum. Now, I should clarify first that this is apparently a rumor, but these guys have been pretty solid in the past with a couple of their stories. Now, what they're reporting on, what this rumor is that the Last Jedi toys are apparently supposed to include components for an item called a Force Link bracelet. And essentially what this is supposed to do is it allows your fingers, they say, to talk to each other. Now, what they said was, apparently this is a toy. This is not some, like, technology that's in the movie or something. I thought it was technology that's in the movie. Apparently this is a toy. It's some kind of a toy that's similar. They compared it to, they said it's kind of like an evolution of the comlink technology from Episode 1. If you remember, in Episode 1, they released these comtech things, and these microchips that came with the characters, and you could insert these microchips and actually, like, the characters would talk and stuff like that over these comlinks. What they're saying here is that this is supposed to be like an evolution of this comlink. It's some kind of bracelet that you wear around your wrist, and there's not much description here. It just says it allows your fingers to talk to each other. Like, you're supposed to wear this bracelet and then your fingers can talk to each other. So I have no idea what really they're talking about. I'm assuming that there's microchips and characters' information, kind of like a Sith and Jedi holocron, you know, those kind of things. But it's in a bracelet form, and then maybe if you move your fingers in a certain way, or you touch each finger to a thumb or something like that, like a different character speaks, so you can have conversation with them. I don't know. Sounds like really fascinating technology. But what do you guys think? What do you guys make of this these components for this comlink item? Leave all your thoughts down below. Next up, we've finally got a look at Finn's brand new blaster that he's going to be using for The Last Jedi. Take a look. Now, I have to say, right off the bat, I really, really love the design of these new blasters that they're making for the new trilogy. Rey's gun that she had in The Force Awakens was awesome. I fell in love with that specific design. And now Finn's blaster has this very kind of resistance feel to it. It's similar to the one that Poe was firing at the beginning of The Force Awakens, except it's scaled down into a handgun, into a blaster model. And something that I thought about right away, you know we're going to see this blaster as part of the new arsenal in Star Wars Battlefront 2, definitely. And I just can't wait to see how this thing operates. Is it going to be super powerful? Is there some kind of a speed component or some kind of a defense component to it? And is it blue? As we saw in The Force Awakens, we're starting to see more blue blaster fire now coming out of these guns. So is this going to be blue blaster fire, which I think is very, very unique. But what do you guys think about this, the design of this blaster? Do you like the design? Do you not like the design? And how powerful do you think it's going to be? Now, next up here, we actually have another picture that's coming straight from the set of the Han Solo movie, and it's actually a picture of like a shanty town, some kind of a shanty town going on here. So take a look at this picture. Now, the interesting thing here is that their sources, the people that put up this picture here, their sources are telling them that this is the planet Corellia. Now, what's interesting to me is that in Wikipedia, you know, Corellia is described as forest and jungle and urban environment, and I'm not sure there's any desert environment on Corellia, but I could be wrong, you know, because the report actually says right here in the report, the sources are saying, you know, Han Solo's home planet emerges out of the sand and yada yada yada. So, what do you guys think? This is mostly open to kind of like fan opinion at this point. You know, what do you guys think? Could this be Han Solo's home planet of Corellia, and is this his hometown here? Of course, it would make sense because this is an origin story for Han Solo, but Wikipedia does list Corellia, of course, as a more forest and jungle planet. So could this be the one only desert environment on this planet? What do you guys think? Is this Han Solo's hometown? And last up today, guys, for our very last story, I wanted to talk about this article over on StarWarsNewsNet.com, touching on this kind of weird relationship going on between Rian Johnson and Lucasfilm right now. So basically what this article was saying is that Lucasfilm is saying that they have things mapped out for the future, and Rian Johnson is saying, no, we don't have anything mapped out for the future. When I came on to write episode 8, everything was brand new and we didn't have everything mapped out. And what's going on now is this is kind of causing a mini panic with fans now. They're saying, why is Lucasfilm and Disney saying one thing and the director of the movie saying another thing? Do you guys have things mapped out? Do you guys not have things mapped out? Why are you guys not on the same page? And what I'm here to do and explain to you guys is to kind of calm this panic. Don't panic, guys. Don't freak out about them not seemingly not being on the same page. They are on the same page. What you guys have to remember is that writers are changing things in their script up until the very last moment. They are always changing things. The article actually mentioned this, that Empire Strikes Back, if you guys don't know this, Empire Strikes Back had 4 different drafts right before it was going into production. The similar thing is going on here with the Last Jedi, or I should say, was going on here with The Last Jedi, is that you know, another thing that you guys have to understand is that Lawrence Kasdan and J.J. Abrams literally set Episode 7 up to be a palette for Episode 8. What J.J. Abrams did was he drew an outline of a picture, and then he gave that picture to Rian Johnson, and he said, okay, now go paint. Go paint whatever you want on this picture, but these are your characters, and these are the outlines, and this is the skeleton of what's going on. Now go paint. This is in Rian Johnson's court. It's not necessarily in Lucasfilm and Disney's court. Rian Johnson is writing the story, and Rian Johnson, you know, I'm a writer myself, you know, I identify with him. He's going to be changing things up until the last moment to try to give us the best story possible. It's like when I go in to write my music. I listen to my songs over and over and over and over and over and over again. Because each time I go back, I hear something else that could be added in. I hear another rhythm or another tone or something else that could be added in so that I can make that song the most perfect song that it could be. That's all that's going on here. That's all. It's not that I'm not on the same page with my music. It's that I want to create the best piece possible. So does Lucasfilm have a general idea? Because that's the thing, you know, I believe Lucasfilm has a general idea about where the story is going, but like I said, this is in Rian Johnson's hands. He's writing the script, and he's always going to be changing things, and this is always going to be up to him and his decisions to make, his story writing decisions to make. So guys, don't panic about the story. Lucasfilm and Disney and Rian Johnson are working perfect together. Rian Johnson is going to deliver us an amazing film come episode 8. I have so much confidence in his directing ability and his story writing ability, and I cannot wait to see. So guys, you know, rest assured, we're in good hands. But now comes the time for you guys to leave all of your thoughts and opinions down below in the Great White Void. I've talked about a lot of different news stories today, so now it's time for you guys to get the conversation going. As for channel updates, if you guys want to check out a great video on everything wrong with the Battle of Endor, head over to Generation Tech. Star Wars Media is featuring a top 10 Star Wars villains list. If you're interested in some awesome Battlefront streams, check out This Is a Rebellion, Isn't It? I Rebel. Star Wars Explained is discussing how to create a Sith holocron. And if you need your Star Wars news over the weekend, don't forget about Jedi Council over on Collider Videos. Well, troops, that's going to do it for today's news. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please be sure to leave a like down below, because just the simple act of hitting that like button really helps this channel out a lot. And don't forget about MakingStarWars.net and StarWarsNewsNet.com for all of the amazing information that they provide. And as always, until next we meet, stay in a galaxy far, far away.